If you're tired of being stuck in low elo, constantly grinding without seeing any progress, it might be because of a few common mistakes that are holding you back. In this video we're going over the top 5 mistakes players make that keep them from climbing, and I'll show you exactly how to fix them so you can finally escape low elo. So let's talk about one of the most common traps in low elo. It's having too many heroes in your lineup. Constantly switching between characters can actually slow down your improvement. By a margin, I will say, by a big margin. It's natural to want to try out different heroes, especially if things aren't going your way in a match. But here's the thing, by switching constantly, you're stopping yourself from really understanding a single character. Every hero in Overwatch has a unique set of skills and it takes time and focus to master them. Changing heroes whenever it feels tough might seem helpful, but you're actually just making it harder to get comfortable with any of them, since you're not facing what's hard with them. You're not learning anything when it's going easy with a hero. It's when the matchup gets hard, you learn something, right? So why narrow it down? It's because when you stick to 2 to 3 heroes, I recommend stick to one hero. But if you think that is too much, only stick to one hero and you think that gets boring, maximum of 3, no more than that. And this is like heroes per role. Like obviously you can play different heroes depending on different roles, right? By doing this, you give yourself the time to build solid mechanics and deep understanding of those specific characters, right? You start reacting to situations faster, you know your limits better, and you're more prepared for each fight. Plus, a smaller hero pool means your game sense improves faster. You're not wasting time relearning basics and can actually start playing strategically. Okay, so here's the solution for you. It's pick one hero, as I said before. Pick one hero, maximum of 3, and just play consistently. Work on refining your skills with those heroes and focus on small improvements each game. Sticking with a few heroes not only helps you master the mechanics, but also makes a more reliable teammate, make more reliable plays, much more consistent plays, which ultimately helps you climb and rank faster than switching all the time. The second major mistake that keeps players stuck in low elo is mismanaging ultimates, either holding onto them for way too long or using them when the fight is already lost. Holding onto your ult feels safe. You want to make sure to use it at a perfect time. This is all the low elo people, they think like, oh, you know, I'm dreaming about getting that 5k pentakill with my Genji blade and nano blade, so we are gonna save it until it's a perfect moment, yada yada yada, and we're gonna save it to the next game basically. But when you hold on to it too long, you're missing out on so many extra opportunities to impact the match, to actually be the one who decides the outcome of the match. Ultimates recharge as you play, so saving them for that perfect moment might mean you're sitting on a full charge when you could be using it to turn a winnable fight right now. And the thing is also, by using ultimates and winning more fights, your teammates will also have an easier time to get ult charge because they won't get killed, so everyone will have more ults in your team and it will kind of snowball. You feel me? Using ultimates effectively can make or break fights, especially at lower ranks where well-timed plays can take the enemy by surprise, and ultimates actually have like a big impact. Like it's not often you see people get killed by the diva bomb, but in low elo obviously you can, right? Because people don't have the same game sense. But here's the problem with using an ultimate when a fight is already lost. This is another thing with this ultimate mismatching. By using an ultimate when the fight is already lost, you waste the potential completely. Like it doesn't matter if you shatter 5 people when your whole team is dying, right? You're not gonna kill 5 people, you're not gonna kill their tank. You like the amount of times this happens, and you know, you're like just asking yourself like, what the hell did this person think? Why did you nano boost me when I'm left alone and you just die? Am I gonna 1v5 him? No, I'm not gonna 1v5 him. What the hell are we doing that? This happens more than you think, and it's legit minus negative in the match. Like you're basically wanting to lose even more. Like you're like throwing away an advantage you have. So instead, when a fight is over, like you notice, okay, we lost 3 people, it's worth nano boosting it. Could we turn it around? Like that is very like dependable, but I would say 3v2, if you have like 2 good ults, you could turn it around. But if you think about it, could you just regroup and use it when all people are alive? Probably a better choice, right? So when a fight is over, it's better to hold off, regroup with your team, and use that ultimate to set the tone for the next fight instead. Knowing when and when not to use it is the key. So practice this. Think to yourself, is this winnable if we use ult, or is it not winnable? But of course, try it out. Like, is an ult here good? Like, I obviously you know, like you shouldn't shatter 5 man if you're left alone, but I still see people do this very often. People like for some reason get this thing in their head where they think, oh, I'm gonna pop off if I pop my ult. Like, no, you're not gonna do it. They're gonna perma focus you and you're gonna die. So save it and use it in it. So my recommendation to when to use your ultimate is either mid-fight before anyone's even died, or maybe just one person have died, or use them to engage fights. That's kind of the best. Like, it depends on the ults, right? Like some ults you won't use in the middle of fights, but some ults you can use to engage fights, right? Like, set the tone for the fight. Don't react like, oh, I'm gonna wait with my blade until they've done this. Like go into the fight and you start, so you get an advantage. Get them by surprise, right? Like, obviously, if they have like Sen ult and want to bait their shit out, obviously done. But you can still kill people if they have Sen ult. Like, don't wait forever. Don't wait forever. Like, oh no, I can't ult because he has Sen ult. Like, ult, you can get some kills. You can't protect all 5 people at the same time. The third big mistake that keeps players stuck in low elo is not handling tilt. Getting frustrated and tilted doesn't just ruin your mood, it actually makes you play so much worse. Like, I'm just gonna start here with a little story from like way back when I used to play with friends. The amount of tilt that we had. Like, bro, I know a lot of people know this, right? You queue up, okay, we lose one match, okay, whatever. Queue up again, we lose another. Instantly, you just tell them instantly queue, instantly leave, instantly queue, instantly do it. I would just keep going, and we start blaming our team. It's like, oh my god, why did we get this monkey in our team? Where did we get this Winston? It doesn't do anything. Start blaming everyone else. It's just like, oh, you know, it's unwinnable. Like, tilt is when emotion starts taking over, often from, you know, frustration, and it affects our ability to make smart plays. When you're tilted, you're more likely to make impulsive moves, miss shots, or overextend because you're not thinking clearly. Instead of focusing on what you should be doing, tilt pulls you into focusing on mistakes, making each one feel bigger and more frustrating than it is. This spiral can lead to even more losses, keeping you trapped in low elo. So why is managing tilt so important? Well, if you couldn't tell from what I just told you, it's because staying calm helps you make better decisions, obviously. Keeps you playing at your best. Without tilt clouding your judgment, you're more likely to spot opportunities, make safer plays, and use abilities more effectively. Learning to handle tilt can turn a frustrating game into a chance to improve, while letting it control you almost guarantees a downward spiral. So here's how I have handled tilt before and how I recommend to handle tilt. First off, if you're getting tilt, just turn off the game. Like, honestly, turn off the game, go do something else and come back. Like, it won't probably get better from you. Like, some people say, like, take deep breath. Like, okay, try it. For me, it doesn't work. I can't take a deep breath. I need to go out, be gone for an hour or something. And another thing is, don't play late at night. Like, I know you sit with your friends, but if you're not having fun, like, playing late at night is like the worst thing. When you're tired, you kind of want to go to bed, so you just get even more tilted. Like, nothing is good. Nothing is good when you're tired, right? Try to play in the middle of the day and shit. You will be less tilted. Tilt primarily, in my opinion, comes from blaming on other people, right? It comes from you blaming on, oh no, it's Monkey's fault. Like, you get mad at other people. Like, since I started putting everything on myself and telling myself, okay, this is my responsibility, I don't get this tilt, right? Because now it's Sunday. Okay, you know what happened there was me overextending. Like, it was nothing more. But if you're getting tilted, you're like, oh my god, I'm stuck in this game with a monkey. I can do nothing. That's what gets you frustrated, that you can't do anything to improve it. But if you say to yourself, no, that was me overextending, then at least me, that works for me. I don't get tilted by that. My biggest, as I said, take a break, drink some water, go for a walk, don't play when you're tired, and sleep at least 8 hours a day. Like, sleeping is a cheat code when it comes to your mental health and everything. So mistake number 4 is about understanding your losses. Moving on after a game is fine, but if you're not figuring out why you lost, you're missing out on a major chance to improve. It's very natural to want to just go up to the next game after a loss, but each match, especially a loss, holds valuable lessons. When you don't analyze what went wrong, you risk repeating the same mistakes over and over and getting stuck in the same habits and ultimately the same rank. Losses can show you patterns in your gameplay that you might not notice otherwise, whether it's your positioning, decision making, or target priority. Understanding why you lost is crucial because it gives you a specific area to improve on. When you take a few moments to reflect on what happened, you can identify what's actually in your control, like cooldown usage, positioning, or ultimate timing. And once you know what went wrong, you can actively work to fix it in future games, instead of just queuing up and, not think about it. This process is how players make steady progress instead of repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Here's an easy way to start understanding your losses. Ask yourself, what's one thing you could have done differently? Did you die too early? Did you use your ultimate effectively? By focusing on just 1 or 2 key takeaways, you won't overwhelm yourself but still gain insights to carry into the next match. And if you're serious about improving, try watching your gameplay for a few minutes afterward, or ask someone that has great knowledge of the game to do it for you and give you feedback. The more you analyze and understand your losses, the faster you'll improve and climb ranks. Mistake number 5 is not understanding your matchup. Knowing your opponent's strengths and weaknesses can make or break your plays, especially in key moments. Each hero in Overwatch has a specific ability that can counter yours, and if you're not aware of these, you're setting up yourself for failure. For example, using a Reaper ultimate right in front of an Ana who still has her sleep dart is just asking to get shut down. I can give you many more examples, like for example using it in front of a Brigitte that could just pop ult. Like so many times I've had to learn it the hard way to not use my ultimate, like my Moira ultimate, in front of a Brigitte. It's so painful, to get stunned out of that shit. And that is just something I see a lot of low elo players don't get, right? You see them using their ultimates in such a weird ways, like visoring when you're standing right in front of them, or as I said, Reaper ulting right in front of an Ana hasn't used sleep dart. Like, there is so many examples of this. You need to understand your matchup, or like some people don't even understand how armor works, and they don't get that they deal like 0 damage. Like for example, Moira on armor deals 0 damage, or Reaper for that matter as well. But people don't seem to understand this and take battles that they will ultimately lose, right? Without understanding your matchups, you're likely to use abilities at the wrong times, which can cost you fights and even entire games. Why is this so important? Because playing smart around your enemy's cooldowns gives you a massive edge, okay? When you're aware of what your opponent can do, you can bait out the key abilities and punish them when they're vulnerable. Instead of forcing plays that could easily be countered, you're waiting for the right moment to make a real impact. This knowledge can turn a difficult matchup into one you can actually control. So how do you fix this? It's start paying attention to the abilities that shut you down. If you're a Reaper, for example, wait until Ana has used her sleep dart before going in with Death Blossom. Learn to read the cues for your opponents and keep track of their cooldowns. This will help you time your moves more effectively, and it will prevent situations where you feel like you're constantly getting shut down. Mastering matchup is about patience and timing, and it can make a huge difference in your win rate. And I would actually recommend, like, go watch some video clip of some pro playing the hero you like, and like look at how he plays around cooldowns. Look at who he goes for. Why doesn't he go for that? Does he call out someone's cooldown? Oh, she doesn't have that, I go for her. So like understanding what you can win and not is super important. Like for example, like a lot of people think like, okay, if you're playing Winston against a Reaper, you will ultimately lose. Like people think, but you could actually use Winston's bubble to win the 1v1, right? You could go through and through, you know, fourth and yeah, whatever. You can actually do that to kind of win the 1v1, or at least start it out. Like you need to know these matchups and how to play them, and it will tremendously increase your chances of ranking up.